God damn. Can you give a disclaimer first?
Trigger warning.
Jesus.
Grape is punishable by hanging in Islam, but here nothing happens to women, only to men. Even the woman is guilty. Solution to this: if any woman, whether married or unmarried, goes along with a man with or without her consent, she should be hanged. Both should be hanged. It shouldn't be allowed even if a woman goes by consent.
God damn.
Leader of the Indian National Lokdal political party. Child marriage is a solution to rape and other atrocities against women.
On Friday, a foreign tourist in India put up a video on Instagram. She was talking about her travels in India and she had bruises on her face. She had been gang raped by 7 men during her trip.
Something has happened to us that we would not wish on anyone. 7 men aid me. They have beaten us and robbed us, although not many things, because what they wanted was to Amy. We are in the hospital with police. It happened tonight here in India.
This incident happened in the state of Jharkhand. Her husband, who was with her, was beaten up badly. The story led to a lot of outrage and condemnation. The authorities swung into action. 3 of the accused have been caught. 4 others are on the run. Now, this is not the first such incident in the country. Chances are it won't be the last. Every 18 minutes, a woman is raped in India. This is data from the government of India. And this incident has sparked a fierce debate on social media about women's safety and women tourists.
5 years, 63 countries, 170,000 kilometers. This couple began their world tour half a decade ago. They boarded their bike.
He's 63, she's 29.
But their journey took a horrible turn last week. The woman and her husband were on a biking trip in India. They were traveling from West Bengal to Nepal. On their way, they stopped in Jharkhand. It was around 5 p.m, so they decided to spend the night there. They set up a temporary camp and were preparing to go to bed. That's when 7 men entered their tent. They beat the couple, they robbed them, they raped the woman, and threatened to kill the duo. At around 11 p.m, the couple flagged down a patrol van. The patrolling team couldn't understand what they said, but they looked visibly injured, so the van took them for treatment. That's when the couple told the doctors about the rape, prompting the police to jump into action. 3 of those men have been arrested, and 4 are still on the run. The woman is a dual national. The Brazilian embassy was informed, and so was the Spanish embassy, as the couple used Spanish passports to enter India. Over the weekend, the 28-year-old took to social media. She put up a video on her Instagram page. It was in Spanish. She talked about her ordeal. She showed the bruises on her face and how glad she was to be alive. Her husband posted a similar video. The videos are not on their page anymore, but it sparked a fierce debate. Is India safe for women tourists?
No.
No. India's not even safe for Indian women. Ask a local Indian woman if she feels safe in India. There's a grape every 18 minutes, and I'm sure the number is probably higher than that.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
Over the weekend, Indians and foreigners shared their stories. They all had one thing in common: how they faced sexual harassment, or have been a witness to it. One such post got a response from the chief of India's National Commission for Women. Rekha Sharma commented on the post. She questioned why the person didn't report it and asked them to not defame the whole country. But was the tweet defaming India? Or are these heinous incidents doing that? In 2023, a Korean vlogger was harassed in Rajasthan. That same year, a Dutch tourist was murdered and stabbed in Goa. In 2018, a British tourist was raped in Goa too. In 2016, an American woman alleged she was gang raped in a hotel in the national capital. In 2013, a Swiss tourist was gang raped by 6 men. They were later sentenced to life in prison. And it's not just foreign tourists. Indian women have faced the brunt as well. Every day, an average of 90 rapes are recorded. In 2013, the country amended its rape law. It broadened the definition. It brought in new punishments for sexual assault and stalking. Yet, it hasn't changed much on the ground. This latest incident could lead to more policing, more awareness, stronger condemnation, and more conversation both on social media and off it. But the fact of the matter is, every 18 minutes, a woman is raped in India. We will need much more than conversation and half-baked measures to deal with the issue.
I'm going to say this. You want to know the funniest parts of the story? And it's funny to say that, but it's
The
crazy.
funniest part of the story?
There's a funny part. These people travel everywhere on motorbikes. They traveled through Afghanistan and then Pakistan and then arrived in India. Do you understand how fucked up your country got to be for you to feel safe in Afghanistan
And Pakistan.
and then end up in India, and that's where you get attacked. Now, they did pitch a tent outside of a city after being seen by a bunch of people. Not exactly the safest thing you could do. And honestly, some tourists, when they travel to some places, they don't really take too many liberties to protect themselves. But does that make what happened here okay? No. I'm just telling you guys watching at home, when you're a foreigner in a lot of these countries, okay, especially these poor, less developed countries, everybody notices you because you just stand out like a sore thumb and you look like you got money. So they're going to pay attention to you. Some of them are going to follow you. It doesn't make it okay, but you got to just be aware. When you pitch a tent just outside the city, most people are going to know exactly where you are. So not exactly the safest habit of living. I understand they wanted to travel freely and not spend too... It's just not smart in some places. So that's one thing to talk about. But the other thing is, India, in terms of its culture surrounding this topic, is pretty twisted. Their views on what constitutes grape are crazy. These are some things that came out of not just grapists over there, but also politicians. Okay, so these are elected officials, leaders who make the laws, who enforce a lot of these things. Let's listen. All right, he's a grapist. Okay, when being graped, she shouldn't fight back. She should just listen in silent and allow the grape. And then they'd have to drop her off after doing her, and only hit the boy. You can't clap with one hand. It takes two hands. A decent girl won't roam around at 9 o'clock at night. A girl is far more responsible for a grape than a boy. Boy and girl are not equal. Housework and housekeeping is for girls, not roaming in discos and bars at night doing the wrong things, wearing the wrong clothes. About 20% of girls are good. Good Lord. Let's go to somebody else. This is a defense lawyer. If my daughter or sister engaged in premarital activities and disgraced herself and allowed herself to lose face and character by doing such things, I would most certainly take this sort of sister or daughter to my farmhouse, and in front of my entire family, I would put petrol on her and set her alight. About a grapist, he says, only 5 to 6 people are not the culprits. The victim's daughter is also as guilty as her rapists.
God damn.
She should have called the culprits' brothers and begged for them to stop. This could have saved her dignity in life. Can you clap with one hand? I don't think so. I guess that's a line over there. I've heard this like twice now. Can you clap with one hand?
And that doesn't mean the same thing.
Good Lord.
It doesn't mean the same thing here.
It is not that women do not like grape. They like sometimes. They willingly. That is the psychology. Outwardly, they show some displeasure, but inwardly, they do not.
Why are you reading it like that?
Because it was written like that. Read it.
Goddamn.
Read it.
It's not that the women do not like grape. They like some...
Rasemwak Paikra says, no one commits grape intentionally. It happens by mistake. Sawaji Party. Grape is punishable by hanging in Islam. But here, nothing happens to women, only to men. Even the woman is guilty. Solution to this: if any woman, whether married or unmarried, goes along with a man with or without her consent, she should be hanged. Both should be hanged. It shouldn't be allowed even if a woman goes by consent. So again, understand the reason why I'm bringing up all these quotes. These aren't nobodies. These are leaders of political parties. These are members of political parties. And when you have this kind of mindset that not only permeates throughout the culture, but is openly espoused, you can understand why a lot of this happens and is normalized. A lot of people who come forward are shamed for it. A lot of the women who have this happen to them have no recourse because they're never going to be taken seriously. So even though they're trying to be more progressive, unfortunately, a lot of times the culture hasn't caught up to the ideals of some of the leaders. Former CBI director: if you cannot stop a grape, you enjoy it.
God damn. God damn.
Leader of the Indian National Lokdal political party. Child marriage is a solution to grape and other atrocities against women. Even in the Mughal era, people would marry off their daughters early to save them from atrocities of the Mughals.
I think we got it.
All right, so that's just some of them. There's a lot more. You'll see them under posts. You'll see a bunch of Indian, especially dudes, just clamoring and celebrating this. Now, a lot of people don't agree with this. It's a huge country with a huge population, but it's prevalent enough. Prevalent.
It's there.
Yeah, I never know how to say that word. I always say it wrong. Doesn't matter. It's just a lot. It's a lot of grape. That's another word to say. So you just got to know what countries you're going to. You know, Taj Mahal looks cool. Don't mean you need to see it. All right? And if you're going to go there, you're going to be harassed. This is not my opinion. This is every tourist who's ever been there who's a female. And even men, they get harassed. Not because of grape or anything, but because of money. People follow them down the street, ask them if they need a ride, if they need to be taken somewhere, they need a haircut. People are always trying to make quick buck because money is money. So you have to understand a lot of places in the world, as unsafe as North America might seem, or some places, you have no idea how much worse it gets out there for some of you. So I would highly recommend against it. And I'm very comfortable saying that.
Do you want to go visit India?
It was literally never on my list.
No?
Never.
Yeah. Nah, I'm going to stay here.
It's not like I don't like the food culture or something, but outside of that, there's no reason for me to want to go. But I'm going to read one more thing for you guys. This one is pretty dark.
Oh, that was not dark enough?
No.
Jesus.
A woman who went to India to cure her depression was raped and found hanged upside down in a forest.
God dang.
Cops revealed that Ligas Kromain was lured by two men who raped her before butchering her body. She was only identified by the clothes she was wearing. All right. At any rate, I won't keep reading this story. There's a lot to read.
No.
You guys can look it up yourselves. All this to say,
It's not putting a whole country in the same bin. It's just, that's what the officials are saying.
One such post got a response from the chief of India's National Commission for Women. Rekha Sharma commented on the post. She questioned why the person didn't report it and asked them to not defame the whole country.
I don't care what nobody says. My daughter ain't going there. None of my siblings I would ever recommend they go there. I would recommend against it very strongly. I would send them all these links, and I'm very comfortable doing so. And anyone that says, oh, you're I don't give a. You can go and send off your friends, and if something bad happens to them, then that can be on your conscience. Yeah, and I would also tell my family not to go to Afghanistan. I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that. It is crazy thing to say, hey, you should have gone to Afghanistan instead of India. I can't believe I even said that. That is a crazy thing to say, but it turns out in a lot of cases that shit's true. So maybe you should stop worrying about how other people perceive your fucking country and worry about some of the issues in there. All right? Yeah, if your own women and people are saying it, I think it's okay for others to say it without you having to label some other weird shit.
100%.
I can look at my own home country, Ethiopia, and say some things about it. He can say the same thing about Haiti.
Same.
And then a foreigner can say it, and it's still true. It doesn't make it true, not true because someone else said it. So I don't feel bad. Any of you want to say I'm prejudiced, you can suck my nuts. But guess what? I guarantee you that most likely the women in my life are probably be far safer than women in yours. So that's your problem. So if you got any energy to comment to me, I better see that same shit for all the politicians out there. But I bet you don't.
You won't.
Yeah, I bet you don't. Exactly.
You won't.
So don't say nothing to me.
Bitch.
Yeah.